Hey guys, Kwoku here. It's finally time to talk about Silverwolf. She's about to have her first rerun in the next patch in just a few days. This is going to be a fairly nuanced discussion. There's quite a bit to talk about here, so let's just get right into it. And don't forget to subscribe for all future content. We're going to be doing build guides, talking about banners, all that kind of stuff. So if you love Honkai Star Rail, go ahead and subscribe. If you're looking for the quick answer, should you pull Silverwolf? Yes. I strongly believe that everyone should have at least one copy of Silverwolf on their account. Even at E0, she's just crazy strong. Plus, she's super easy to gear since most of you are going to be already farming the Quantum set, I hope. Trust me, just farm the Quantum set. She's also one of the most budget-friendly, if not the most budget-friendly unit in the game, since you don't need to build as many units to have wide type coverage. So if you're a new player or free to play or even just a light spender, you should definitely pick up this character. Silverwolf's whole kit is based around debilitating her enemies and completely bypassing their weaknesses. She has the ability to reduce an enemy's attack, defense, and speed so that the enemy will just simply die from existing. While the strength of the debuffs isn't huge, she doesn't need to use any skills to apply them. Any of Silverwolf's attacks will simply apply the debuffs, so that makes her very skill point positive. If you don't already think this is strong enough, there's also another chance to reduce enemies' all type resistances, so everyone on the team benefits from that and does extra damage to that enemy. One of Silverwolf's other strengths is that she's the most flexible character in the game. You can throw her into any team comp in the game whatsoever, she will find value there. There just isn't any other character in the game at the moment that comes close to doing what Silverwolf does. If you're missing, that certain piece of that team comp, Silverwolf will 100% fill that missing piece. Slap her in any team, she'll find value. I still think that Silverwolf is the closest thing in the game to a must pull. I want to be clear that there are no actual must pulls in the game, but if you can't clear MOC 10, or maybe you can, just not comfortably yet, Silverwolf is going to let you do that right away. She's also a top tier unit in Swarm Disaster. The buffs that she gets on that is just insane, makes her really strong. One of her strongest points is the massive single target defense shred that she applies to enemies, which enables your damage dealers to completely delete enemies. If defense shred is just the only thing you're looking for on a unit, then you might consider skipping Silverwolf and just building your Pela, since you get her for free most likely. But this way you can save your precious J's for future units, because let's be honest here, I know we're all saving for Ruan Mei. Overall, Pela is going to be a stronger debuffer, especially in multiple target scenarios, since her debuffs hit the entire field, whereas Silverwolf is only single target. So keep that in mind, since it's always possible that Hoyoverse decides to switch back to single target high health enemies in the content, since right now it's just a lot of AoE. That's why destruction units dominate the meta. Like I said, you can pretty much pop her into any team comp and she's gonna work. You can pair her with just about anyone in the game. I don't know who you couldn't pair Silverwolf with. I mean, you can put her with Zila, Imbibitor Lune, Kafka. You just go down the list of characters. Silverwolf's gonna pretty much be a good support for them. Because even dot characters like Kafka, the debuffs that Silverwolf applies actually do benefit dot. So specifically, Mono Quantum is going to be one of the strongest team comps out there right now. I currently use Fushuan, Zila, Silverwolf, and Lynx. And you don't even need Zila either to make this comp work. You can use Xingxue instead. She works really well with Silverwolf. But the thing is, if you don't want to do any of those units, you don't even have to do Mono Quantum. Silverwolf enables any mono element team comp to work. So this in particular is what makes her so strong and why she's just so widely usable. And I think she's going to be a long-lasting unit in the game. And just right now, there really isn't any scenario where Silverwolf is going to be weak. You could argue that in AoE stages, her value goes down just a little bit. You might prefer someone like Pela, as we talked about before, but you can really just use Silverwolf in these scenarios too, and she'll do just fine. I want to start off by saying that you don't need any Eidolons on Silverwolf whatsoever. Same goes for any limited unit for that matter. You don't need any Eidolons. Silverwolf especially is really good at E0, but if you really want to go for some Eidolons or some copies, here's what they do. So her E1 to start off with, it's pretty much going to fix any energy regeneration issues you might have on Silverwolf. Her E2 is going to reduce enemy effect res by 20% when Silverwolf enters the battle. This Eidolon is super strong, and I would say this is a pretty good stopping point if you are looking to get some copies. So this will allow you not to have to build as much effect hit rate, and you can focus more on some damage stats. But overall, your DPS on Silverwolf isn't going to be super high at this point. So if you're really looking to increase her damage, you're pretty much going to have to start with E4. This is really the bottom line. The problem with this Eidolon is it only applies to her ultimate. So you're going to be looking to just cycle as fast as you can to get her ultimate back up and spam that. But E6 is where she's really going to be crazy. So this is pretty much the same as E4, but it applies to all damage that Silverwolf does. So this one, and it stacks with E4. So this one just goes absolutely crazy. So taking a look at light cones, this is her signature light cone, Incessant Rain. You don't really need a signature light cone on Silverwolf. To be honest, I wouldn't even really recommend this below E4, because at E4 is when you're going to start building a DPS Silverwolf. It's still good across the board. I mean, it's good on a lot of Nihility units in general, but you don't really need this at all on Silverwolf. Before the tutorial mission starts, this is the free event light cone that we got a while back whenever Silverwolf released. If you missed out on the event, unfortunately, there's no way to obtain this. Hopefully Hoyoverse will bring it back at some point, but the way it's looking right now, I doubt that's going to happen. So that's kind of sad. I wish they'd find a way to bring it back for players that missed it, that, you know, didn't play the game at that time, because this light cone is best in slot for Silverwolf as free to play, and it's best in slot for Pela too, I believe. If you don't have this, then your best option is going to be Resolution Shines as Pearls of Sweat, and this is a pretty strong light cone overall, and definitely not a bad option. Silverwolf is a very future-proof unit. It's going to take a long time for her kit value to go down at any significant level. As your account progresses, of course, you're going to have more variety of units built, which does lower the value of her weakness implant specifically just a little bit, but still her debuffing capabilities remain the same, and she's really the only unit that allows for mono element team comps, and that's something that's unlikely to ever get power crept. It's very unlikely that we'll ever see another unit with the capabilities of Silverwolf. Pela is a good replacement if you just want the defense shred. Pela can do that, and arguably better because she's AoE. So just build Pela if that's all you want, or if you want to save your Jades, just build your Pela. And Silverwolf's going to allow you to immediately clear MOC 10 if that's a problem for you, and she'll also enable so many other team comps that you couldn't do previously. Overall, Silverwolf is an amazing unit with ridiculous debuffs that will greatly amplify your team's damage. She gives debuffs to enemies for free and is the only character in the game that enables mono element teams. Silverwolf is still relevant. It will stay that way for a long time, I have no doubt about that. In conclusion, I would highly recommend pulling for Silverwolf. I think this is a really strong banner, not just because of Silverwolf, but the 4 stars as well are really strong. I mean, we have a new Harmony unit, and Harmony units have always been strong thus far. But Silverwolf is going to bring a lot of value to your account regardless, especially if you're free to play or you haven't been able to clear all the content in the game yet. I also want to quickly mention the other banners in this patch. I'll actually be making another video on this, so stay tuned for that. Argenti is going to be the other banner running alongside Silverwolf's rerun. Now, if you're lacking a consistent damage dealer, I would maybe consider Argenti instead. But if you do have hyper carries or any just consistent damage dealers on your account, Silverwolf's probably going to be a better option. And with that, we've reached the end of this video. Don't forget to let me know what your thoughts are on Silverwolf right now. I think she's a super strong unit. I don't think she's going anywhere. Let me know what you guys think. Anyways, I'm signing off. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.